I was 7, so we moved from that apartment into a house in the Bronx. This house that had been there probably more than a century old, and our neighborhood was all black and Puerto Rican, and we're clearly the only Indian family moving in.
Do you think that's where you had the majority of your mystical experiences?
100%.
Do you consider it like a haunted house?
100% haunted. I'd like to say inhabited, because haunted sounds like there was something evil in it. Not at all. It quiets your mind down pretty instantly. I've seen some of my clients have done this for their newborn babies. Not very close. They don't need to be that close. Cats respond to this beautifully.
Well, say goodbye.
Yeah. And keep practicing.
So it's kind of like it's getting to this point where everybody's starting to question what is real and what is considered valid.
Well, I like anything that blows up the
3D
narrative,
reality.
at least to help us question things. That's the way we grow. As
We are sitting in front of a very big surprise. Ta-da!
You guys.
Explain the difference between just spirit guides and a gatekeeper spirit guide.
Okay, so your spirit team consists of spirit guides who are working in different departments. I'm going to tell you how it is, guys. This is really what I've experienced as a channeler and a medium.
What we're going to do with you guys is you're going to play along with us, and we have some surprises.
Yeah, I want to say
We're going
that.
to do some psychic tests.
Yeah, we're going to jump right in, and I just want to say to you guys that even if you've never done this before or you're pretty seasoned, this is still some great exercises that we're going to show you how to do, and then you can do at home with a friend. They've been doing what we've been talking about for 20 years, which is no matter what, we have to come through with gratitude. Time the same way as an empath? Like, do you feel even the planet has moved halfway around the sun?
Yeah, time has definitely sped up, as you guys probably have figured out by now. But I think it's because it's a conscious collective. It has to do with also how we've married into technology so intimately. Kelly Billings said, Riz, about your Britney. You always elicit, Santa Riz. You always elicit people saying, Riz.
Riz!
Santa Riz.
Riz is in Santa's belly this evening.
Okay, that's pretty sick. You are believing that things are wrong versus right, instead of looking at things in divine perfection, that everything is unfolding in its exact timing that it is intended to unfold. Old-fashioned original kind, which is from Brax, I think.
I like it old-fashioned Scooby-Doo, and I like it old-fashioned candy corn, and old-fashioned psychic message.
Empath question. As an empath myself, I would love some tips on how to handle large crowds. I'm still sometimes very overwhelmed by them. Thank you ahead of time. To be honest, I don't know if it quite ever goes away. However, there's ways you can play games and have fun with yourself. For me,
About to say what everybody's thinking,
oh my god.
but afraid to say.
Oh my god.
You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh my god. Well, what's happening is people can barely even text because they're crying, laughing so hard right now, and they're like dying. They're dying. I'm dying. Oh my god. Okay.
Sounds like a party to me if everybody's dying.
It's true.
Anybody got a dead uncle or dead grandpa out there? Want to talk to him? Why don't you name this show the Dead Grandpa Show? That's where it seems to be everybody wants a message from their dead grandpa. Give your dead grandpa a break. He was tired of you when he was alive. He certainly don't want to hear from you now.
Oh my god. I'm
Give the man a
not
break.
gonna make it. I'm actually not gonna amazing.
You wouldn't leave him alone when he was alive, wanting to sit on his knee, wanting to go on his boat, want him to take you to Disneyland. Now, man's dead, you still want a message from him. Leave him alone. Talk to me.
Riz is never gonna believe what happened today. When Riz comes back and finds out what you have done, he's gonna be very, very surprised.
Now we are going to open up the Mystic Vault for you guys. Our top mystical stories of 2024.
I wanted to talk to you guys about deja vu.
All right.
So I'm sure you guys have had deja vu. Some of you may or may not know what it is. Any move you make is better than not making a move at all.
Sometimes you disturb the peace to bring in peace.
And that's exactly right. And
Happy Halloween, everyone. Thank you. Welcome, welcome.
Come take a picture.
Ghosts and the spooky when they come out, and I'm back from the dead. Not even death could handle the Macho Man. Not even death can stop me. Oh yeah.
He started to feel the energies.
Yeah,
So he was just dressed as Dracula, and he was just walking around in the Halloween, party, and we were having a great time. And then I was like, wait, and people started getting really scared.
yeah, something was taking
It looked like
over.
this real Dracula was showing up.
Yes.
And he can't help it when he's.
But yes, Professor, I was just at the library preparing.
Just remember this as you take their questions and those who want to know. Remember, not all who seek knowledge are prepared for the answers. Off you go.
Must she always be here?
Apparently, Bellatrix, and you have something to offer this Halloween,
I do.
as you have forced me to tell them of their fate.
That's right.
Essence of what?
I must have my chocolate.
Would you mind if I proceeded, Bellatrix? Apologies to our friend here.
1 minute and 16 seconds.
Intelligences are their own individual unique expressions. If they are at odds or in conflict with you, meaning preventing you from movement or feeling good, or feeling that you have an attachment, as you call it, that there is an entity that means to do you harm. We are not here to tell you they do not exist, for they certainly do, for you are experiencing them. Many of you have had conversations with them and communication with them. Is the reality, as you call it, of the interaction with a separate being, an entity that may be holding you down, as you call it, to pin you against your bed, as is experienced in sleep paralysis, as it is called by those who are in the medical community. These night terrors, as those who are interested in the paranormal refer to them, we are speaking of the same event.
5 seconds, 4 seconds. And hello, everybody.
Happy Psychic Sundays, everyone.
How's everybody doing? Are you cozy? Are you ready?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. I have a guest. My little guest of
I
honor.
haven't seen him since.
So I have him in my closet and I stare at him every day because this is, I've created a lot of things, but this is one of my favorite creations. So for Halloween, many moons ago, when we were the Addams family,
Yes.
I needed to have the baby, which I can't remember the character's name. I don't know his baby name, but
You were Mortician. I was Gomez.
yes. And I wanted to make sure we had the baby. So I searched high and low till I found the right face.
Because you can't buy it, apparently.
You cannot.
It's really hard to find the baby.
And I literally made him. I love him so
He's
much.
so sick, and you look so good.
It looks exactly like the character, which I can't even believe.
Well, it's 250 days till Halloween. Yes, I actually keep track of that.
Oh my God. Oh,
He looks amazing.
my God.
He has the puke on him.
He does have puke on him. So I'm going to sit with him for a little bit.
Did he come with the shoes?
Do I have baby fever?
You know, I don't remember. Really?
Do I? No. I have menopausal fever.
Thought you were about to make an announcement of some sort on live YouTube. Good. I'd be happy. Cheers to him, whoever his name is.
I don't know his name. If you guys know his name, let us know.
Are you thinking about Halloween already?
I mean, I'm always thinking about Halloween, basically. I'm already trying to plan what I'm going to do for Halloween this year. And I'm still trying to, because, you know, every year I want it to be different every year. But last year, we were so many characters. And my favorite was when you were Snape and I was Bellatrix.
Oh, that was incredible.
And then I also, when you were Beetlejuice.
That was
And I was Lydia.
Top favorite.
And Erica was.
You guys have told us that Beetlejuice was your favorite when I was channeling Beetlejuice. See, I don't believe I wasn't here. That was Beetlejuice was here.
I mean, he has
Snape
to
was
exist
here.
somewhere. The writers of Beetlejuice actually had to channel him.
If you guys are just joining us every Halloween,
you have to watch it.
Every October, excuse me, we're in costume every Sunday. So that's at least 4 different costumes. You guys didn't think we were going to be on tonight. We said we were going to be back in 2 weeks.
I know, you guys.
Surprise, surprise.
We couldn't stay away.
We missed you. How you all doing all over?
Any
the
first timers
country
here?
and
You
the
guys are joining us
world?
from the first time. Any of my people from TikTok? Last time we had some of my gang from
here.
TikTok started coming over. And if you guys don't know, I am on TikTok.
Yes.
You get a double Riz the Wiz whammy because I do live readings during the week on TikTok, but I surprise you. So you got to make sure you get notifications.
Did you just introduce yourself?
I don't know. Did I?
I don't know. So if you're just joining us for the first time, we are married couple and we do this for a living. Not the YouTube part as of actually recently we have been, but we have been helping people just like this in person for 2 decades. And I'm an intuitive empath. My name is Lady O. And Riz is...
I'm a channeler and a shaman and a medium. And this is where we just hang out. You know, so much of our work for 20 years has been in meditation centers and in yoga studios and on different stages and being on Gaia television and all of those things that are, you know, so big and official. And we do it that way. And we really wanted to just share also another part of us, which is us at home.
Yeah.
When we would hang out with our friends and family on not just Sunday nights, any night of the week. And I would give messages and you would break down things that have to do with being an empath. And one day we were sitting around with about 1.5 years ago. And we said, this is it. Why don't we just put the cameras on while we're doing this and invite you guys into our living room? This is our actual living room. These are our actual books, our actual crystals. This is where we hang out day to day and live our very regular, irregular, normal, abnormal,
we're the most
physical, metaphysical life.
I think we are the most normal, abnormal people you will ever meet. We are so normal because we do everything that everybody does. We're very normal. And then we do so many abnormal things.
I call it the amethyst sheep of the family. Nobody knows.
If
Nobody
you guys
knows.
relate, let us know in the
if you relate
chat.
to it.
Definitely.
Are you the one? If you're the one that has your crystals in your purse or in your pocket or in your car, if you're the one that is looking up what phase of the moon it is tonight, it's in Capricorn, by the way. If you're the one counting down to Halloween, if you're the one that feels spirits, if you're the one watching paranormal shows, if you're the one that knows that good psychics, good healers, good channelers are the real deal, you are definitely a meta mystic. That's what this channel is called. And we are the mystics.
Well, we shortened it to mystics now.
Well, I want to put it on our mailbox.
We started as mystics. We did that first podcast that we did.
What if we had changed our
we
names?
did meta mystic and went back to mystic.
You know, I actually toyed with the idea. I was like, what if we had changed our names to our last name to Mystic, and I was Riz Mystic and you were Araya Mystic, and then our mailbox said the Mystics.
I think that would be going a little too far.
Listen, in this day and age, you got to go a little far.
I've already changed my name, and my name is Araya Hera Mirza, and I think it's pretty.
Your starseed roots are
yeah,
in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also would like to introduce you to our wonderful Virgo assistant, Erica.
Hi, everyone.
She has to be always introduced with the fact that she's a Virgo because
Yes.
she can handle all of you guys.
Yeah, and I love being a Virgo.
She likes to enforce
As
the
one does.
rules. Riz is a Leo,
Virgo rising,
Virgo.
Scorpio moon.
That's right.
and I am a Taurus double Leo. Erica actually technically has more Leo than the two of us, right?
That's correct.
How many planets in Leo do you have?
I am Leo rising, Leo Venus, and Leo Mars.
Oh, you're Leo Mars also.
I am.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed Leo Mars.
fiery environment.
That's my fiery temper that likes to show up sometimes.
I thought it was because you were Italian.
What's your Mars?
That too.
What's my Mars, E? She's an astrologer too,
you know
by
what?
the way.
I'd have to look. I don't know where.
What? You don't have it memorized?
You don't know our charts by heart?
How do you not?
You know, you guys out there.
Ooh, somebody asked if your hair was black now.
Linda, how did you know?
How did she know?
Did you post on Insta?
Did you?
I think I
post
posted
anything?
something on my story.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I didn't even post it on the feed. Thanks, Linda.
I don't know. Maybe the Addams Family vibe that you were feeling is rubbing off on
Oh,
Erica.
it's inspired by the doll.
Just before we started, I went into the back room and sang my my heart open with Erica, and we sang Dixie Chicks, Cowboy Take Me Away.
Yep.
And we sang Landslide.
Yes.
And we let it rip. We also did the
Wide Open Spaces.
Wide Open Spaces, Fleetwood Mac.
Mhm.
Yeah, we
Dreams.
did some Fleetwood Mac
And
too.
now our throats are totally shot.
Worth it.
You sing every time right before we start.
Well, you know, my singing is just doing my oming and my chanting, because that for me, guys, if you haven't done it, and just doing om, the reason why it's done for thousands of years in India. What is om anyway? Some people say, what is om? We used to have a sign above our door that said Om Sweet Om. Om really represented the sound of the universe. They called it the cosmic motor, the hum of the cosmic motor. It's all the sounds in one of the Om. And you could really break it down. One day I will do a whole video on breaking down just the sound Om.
Mm-hmm.
But meditating on that and just working with that toning opens up and heals the throat chakra. In fact, it works on the heart chakra. It works on all the chakras if you know how to do it. And we will do that together with you guys one day this year. We'll put a
What
video
I
out of
love
that.
is when you tell me that, because you also tend to do a little of your Indian vocal lessons that are very complex because they have micro half notes,
tones, yeah.
tones. And so when you practice, it's not just normal, like you're doing the scale,
No.
because you're doing like a micro scale.
Well,
almost.
it's just, even if it's whatever the note it is, doesn't matter. It's just the attention that you're paying to the sound coming out and vibrating through your body.
Right.
So it's never about, well, how great of a singer are you, or doing toning exercises
Yeah.
is to actually do a self-healing. And that is why we are studying the frequency of certain frequencies of certain music. If you guys go on YouTube and type in healing frequency music, you will see it'll say something like rejuvenate your cells with 432 Hz. It means hertz. Now, if you guys don't know, a quick little lesson on what those numbers represent. If something is 432 Hz, it means, let's say you plucked a guitar string and you plucked A on the guitar. That means that that string is bouncing back and forth 432 times per second. That's what the hertz means. So it can go up to any number, right? Depending on how tight that is. So since we're constantly talking about frequency and energy, psychic work is about frequency. Sometimes people have asked me this: how do you know if something comes to you? How do you get the name of a person, or how do you get the message? How does this happen? They're very, very curious about that. Sometimes they're most curious when I give them something very specific, like the name of somebody who passed on, or a date, or something that's a piece of information that I couldn't have known. And they're very fascinated by it, and who wouldn't be? But the way that I try to break down psychic phenomenon is that it is actually scientific when you understand that all points are connected, that that the galaxy that you're thinking of that is 25 million light years away it's not a linear distance. There's something that's faster than the speed of light, and that is the speed of thought. That is instant communication. It does not take time for a frequency of sound to travel through the air and reach your ear, then be processed by your ear into your brain.
Do you know, I think that a lot of people on the planet, well, I don't know about the whole world, but I know there's sections of the planet that are becoming more psychic, I believe.
Yes.
They're starting to be more intuitive and read into people's, like like for instance, there'll be like a TikTok video or there'll be an Instagram video of something happening, like a 30-second, somebody's doing something. And in the comments, everybody can read into what's actually happening or what that person's actually saying or doing.
Because it is
They're
our
not buying
natural
the
ability.
surface level
But that's
anymore.
because it's our natural ability.
Right.
And when I teach people how to develop that natural ability, what I'm helping them to do through meditation or toning or breathing or visualization is to be able to lessen or neutralize the external noise. And of course, even the internal noise, right? Your random thoughts, things you're upset about. And so meditation is that practice to be able to do that. So when we understand that all points are connected and that the speed of thought is instant and time is not linear, past, present, and future, though we experience it that way, we experience it as a past. I had breakfast this morning.
Because we're going by the rotation of the sun and the moon cycles like cavemen did.
Well, in a sense, we're measuring
seasons.
time by the movement of nature. That's what time is to us, right? So, because it's very arbitrary the way we said it. We said one day is if the sun goes up and comes back again, that's one day. We could have said when it goes away 3 times and comes back, that would be one day, right? 12 eggs are 1 dozen, right? So the numbers are arbitrary, but we are using that as a functioning language. Numbers, frequency, all of this together. So when you're coming from the belief that all points are one and you have opened yourself up, then whatever you're supposed to know psychically comes to you. And this is a study this is what also people who, the government had psionic facilitators. Psionic simply means the psychic sciences.
Right.
Psionic. I like this word that there's bionic and there's psionic. Bionic in the body, psionic in the psychic reality of what we are. So we had remote viewers. Ingo Swann, look up Ingo Swann, I-N-G-O, Swann. He was one of the most famous remote viewers. There are many other remote viewers. And how are they able to pinpoint locations around the globe? So they would take the remote viewers, the military would give them coordinates. Okay, whatever latitude number, 100 latitude and 62 longitude. And they would tune in, they were beginning to draw, and they could literally draw the patterns and shapes of the buildings and map out the blueprint or the landscape of just the numbers. Because the numbers are a frequency. And those frequencies, those vibrations are in the air the way we have mapped it. And so that's why they're able to receive it. So there really is a science to this. It's just now it's considered to be, even for us, when as psychics, all psychics, we have to be classified as entertainment. Isn't that crazy?
That's going to change.
And it's going to change. And the reason is
I have a question for you when you're done.
Yeah, sorry. I don't want to go on too long. But this is knowledge.
Long-winded here.
It's knowledge.
It is knowledge, but we got to break it up into pieces. Okay, so I wanted to say that I can remote view. A lot of people don't know that. I could remote view. I could go take it all the way, but I stopped because I kept concerning myself with society's ideas of privacy issues. And I started to think that it might be a little weird or creepy that I can look into your house, and it's kind of strange. So I just kind of stopped really doing it. I only do it with my kids, just when they're doing homework and just when they're at school and just when I could tune in and I could see where they're at. And in certain other situations I use it, but I'm very I keep it narrow, the amount of distance I use. It's hard to explain. But you also, in your psychic abilities, and this is what I don't know the difference, in your psychic abilities, I've heard you many times, even on the show, you've given readings to people and you say things like, when you first walk in the front door on the right-hand side, there is a picture hanging on the wall, or there's something on that wall. What is it? And the person says, well, that's a picture of my mom.
Yeah, it has to do with, look, you walk in.
What's the difference between me remote viewing and then you being
because they're
psychically
I don't know.
Are
actually,
you getting a message from their guides telling you that?
It could be that,
or
but
the mother is telling you that.
It could be that. When I get that kind of message, and I'll say, walk 5 steps into the right. There's something. That message always has something to do with the specific question the person is asking.
Right.
For example, I'm doing a mediumship reading, and it will be the grandmother. And then the grandmother will show me a specific sound. Come out of the upstairs bathroom, make a left, go 2 feet. What's over here? And the person will invariably say, that's my grandmother's picture that's hanging. Because we all have things hanging everywhere. It's very specific when I'm giving that message. But I would say that you're still tapping into the same field, whether it's coming from a spirit guide giving that to me.
Right.
It's still remote viewing, right?
Well, there's a podcast I used to have during COVID. I started it, and it was just by myself. I did it, and it was called United Starseeds Unite, or United Starseeds. And I had a couple branches of that podcast. And in one podcast, I had a guest, and his name is Dennis Strahl. And we were talking about remote viewing. And we did an experiment, a test, and I wanted to see if I can describe his entire room that he was in from wall to wall. And where's the door? Where's the window? East, west, north, south, the whole thing. And so I did, and I was completely accurate. He was there on Zoom. I only saw a portion of his, just a blank wall behind him, and I was able to explain the whole room. And right when I was nearing the end, there was a huge blackout. We were on the camera and everything went dark. The whole street, the whole house, I think it was just the whole house went completely dark, and we laughed because we couldn't believe that. I think I blew out the lights because I was so much energy.
That is true. So, you can focus energy because everything is energy. When you start to focus on something,
but it starts
to affect the electricity. Spirits also affect electricity.
I have also seen you many years, especially when we first met. You used to do this a lot. You'd go into this deep meditation and you would literally project and almost go walk on other planets and walk on the moon, and you would go see other places that are off planet, and you would describe them to me and what was going on. And it's funny because since you've done that, many channeled material from other people and books and other things, we've been able to validate those places.
They're getting those same they're getting those same images. Yeah. So where's everybody watching from? I'm seeing this thing scrolling. Oh, do we have any
Let us know,
newcomers?
Erica, what's going on?
Who's our first timers here? Let's say hi to people.
We do. We have Michelle tuning in from Australia. Right now, I think we have a couple Aussies in the house.
We're our Aussie friends. Let me know in Oz where you're from.
Yeah.
I was in Oz, oh my God, 20 years ago. One of the best memories I've ever had. And I was in Melbourne and Sydney, but I had the privilege of going out to Perth, which is all the way on the western coast. And there's a place that's south of Perth called the Margaret River. And I remember walking also near on the beach, and there were these trees that were like petrified wood just laying on the beach that you knew these trees were like 1 million years old. Wow. It was incredible. There's a very deep, deep portal in Australia. I think the Aborigines have talked about the star people and the visitations from them and their connection psychically to the star people. So hello to Oz. Where else?
We didn't ask. We have Southwest Washington, but we didn't ask anybody. Go ahead, Erica.
British Columbia.
All right, BC.
Yes.
BC.
We've got quite a few people from the Carolinas as well.
All right. We're actually going to be out in the Carolinas in August in North Carolina. Maybe you guys will come to one of our events over there.
Amazing.
It's been a while that I've done this, but I want to offer this because I feel the energy of it. I'm in the mood for it. We didn't go over the rules today, and we're going to have Erica do that with you right now. But before we do that, I just want to let you guys know, sometimes we do little things like sometimes Riz reads off of his deck, or I read off of my deck, or we do certain things like spirit animals and different things, people, spirit guides that are working with you, or your spirit animals that are working with you, who's hanging around you, etc. But tonight, I'm going to offer color readings. So what that means is, what's the color that you need to start working with?
Oh, I love that.
And it always works, and it's really powerful because color has its frequency, has a lot of information, and it's layered. So it's really interpretation. It's also can induce memories. It can also activate you into many ways and remind you of things and move you forward or back. So any questions asked towards me is free, and so I will answer either on chat or I'll answer in person. We can talk. Riz, Erica, would you like to go ahead and list the rules?
Yes. So for questions for Riz, If you'd like to have your question answered first, that is a $50 super chat. We also have a $20 super chat, which means we will ask your question during the live. And then there is also the option of freebie questions. You can just post your question in the comments, and we'll get to as many of those as we can, and
absolutely,
we select them randomly.
Yeah, the readings are free, but if you want to jump ahead to the front of the line, like you do at Universal Studios,
the Express Pass.
Front of the line,
you get the Express Pass. You can do that. I'll get to as many questions as I can get that are in a flow and in a really nice pace. So you can ask anything that you want. Lottery numbers, I don't do. When you're going to die, I don't do. People ask, people ask that question.
I don't want to know.
Oh, people have asked me that.
I don't.
Well, I'm not allowed to know that.
Yeah.
Psychics are only a good psychic. I like to say a psychic with integrity, good integrity, is only going to tell you what they're truly receiving, and are not going to say anything just to make you happy. It's about really helping you navigate. My readings, guys, though they are predictive and also read in to give you messages from people from the other side, I'm also a shaman practicing for over 2 decades. My work is on personal, one-on-one, deep transformational, spiritual death, spiritual rebirth work. You can take a look, go to my website, look on Instagram, you'll see all these pictures, Psychic Riz the Wiz, you'll see all these pictures of the deep transformational work I do with people. So I always tie in a deeper message with my psychic answer, and to help break it down so that you can actually integrate it, so that you can take these messages and make them a practical tool, use them as a practical tool in your life to be more peaceful, therefore more happy. Sound good?
Well, before we launch, I'm going to take one to break the ice because this one is it's so strange that I have to actually take it first, and then we'll launch into everything else.
It's a strange question.
It's a strange question.
Is it about the Addams Family baby?
No, this question is for me, but I want both of us to talk about it. It's so strange. Ready?
Yeah.
It's from Erie. E-R-I.
Erie.
Erie.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question for Lady O. I got stung in the crown yesterday. Crazy lucid dreams and left ear pain today. Curious, what is the symbolism of the left ear? Also would love to know what color to work with. What did you get stung with? That makes a huge difference. If it was a bee, spider, those are all totem animals, and they all have messages. So it's very important you tell us which one.
Taser.
The pain in the ear, obviously, on the biological front, there's a little bit of histamine reaction to it. But the fact that it's in the left ear.
Mm-hmm. Feminine side of the body. It's the yin. It's the intuitive. Interesting, because the left side being the yin, the feminine, guys, left side of the body is the yin, the feminine side, right side is the masculine, the yang. Simply put, yang represents builder, protector, organizer, strategist, analytical, and the yin is the feminine, which is the receptive, intuitive, nurturing, and receiving, the creative.
Okay.
All of these, everybody has to have a balance of yin and yang. Doesn't matter what you are, how you identify. You have to have balance of yin and yang. It's energy. So left ear, which means where are you allowing yourself to hear more intuitively with more sensitivity? Getting stung in the crown chakra, well, that's a message and a half.
And it's from a bee, and you're a beekeeper.
What?
Yeah, he's a beekeeper.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
She. Okay, so beekeeper, bee. So bee represents the sweetness of life.
Because of the honey.
So it's basically saying to you, hello, darling. It's time for you to see the sweetness of life. It's time for you to open up your higher crown chakra, higher intelligence, third eye. Ooh. It's time for you to surrender into your feminine, to start to be able to receive messages. Thank you for working with us. We know you're here. We love you. And we are here gonna really just give you a very poignant message directly to the point. We're going to go right for the crown.
Right through the third eye.
Point.
But crown is up here. So I would also say, Ari, pay attention to understanding what makes bees so special. It is their ability to communicate with one another. Remember that, communication. Bees are masters of communication. Bees have a teamwork, a resourcefulness of all of them collectively working together. So this would also be about how you're going to use whatever abilities or gifts that you have for the collective.
And the color they asked for, the color I'm getting for you is a color I very rarely see or rarely even tell anyone. It's a lime green, but not bright. It's a muted lime green. It's the kind of green that you don't know what to do with. That you're like, what kind of green?
Like, I can't wear that green.
Like, what is that? Like, what kind of color is this? What do I do?
Is there anything that...
So the message here is that it's about giving you a clean palette to start creating from, because it is a very hard color to work with. You would have to really understand what that color means. You would have to bring a lot of you to the color. You see what I mean? Like,
no, I don't know what you mean by
I'll
that.
give you an example. Like if you had red as a color, or teal, very strong, very poignant and highly pigmented colors, it is a guidepost. It's a guidepost. It is guiding you in a direction. It's telling you, stop, go. It's telling you, go into your heart. It's telling you passion or anger. It's telling you, like teal could be the ocean. It could be turquoise. It could be the Southwest. It could be many, many things, right? So it's very clear. But this lime green, that's kind of like a muted pastel lime green.
I don't know.
Nobody knows what to do with that color, but that's the message. The message is...
Oh, it's neutrality.
Neutrality, clean slate. Neutrality, and it also means starting fresh. It also means you're the paint. It also means you have to now bring you to the color.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
awesome.
Yeah. So let's move on to Riz.
All right, let's get it going.
We have some super chats.
Woo-hoo.
Okay.
All right. So first we have Michelle, and she would like to know how she can navigate life while being active duty during this current administration.
Okay.
How to navigate life.
So active duty means
in the military.
She's active duty in the military.
I know what that means.
I was just saying for the audience, maybe if people don't know what that means.
And she wants to know, I just need to make sure I hear the question right. I know Riz is going to answer, but I want to make sure I hear it correctly. And she wants to know how to navigate during this current administration.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, well, remember something, Michelle. All realities are agreed upon on a higher level of consciousness. All realities are agreed upon on a higher level of consciousness. That means that while we may have earthly opinions that differ, our higher self, which is above this physical earth, which means there's a greater reality than this physical earth, we have created consciousness here. We are projecting our soul's evolution curriculum here. Earth is a school. So there's a higher self which knows that it is eternal, knows that it has not just been Michelle who looks the way that you look. There is a version of you, Michelle, that was a man, that was an older person, that was a different ethnicity, that lived in a different time. That eternal soul. All of our eternal souls create a reality agreed upon that this will be the best for our evolution here on the planet. To make it clear, your earthly self may completely disagree with your eternal self. But your eternal self is far more real than just your earthly self. Your earthly self is one identity. So remember something. When you zoom out and people say, see the bigger picture, when you're talking to me, I would say, oh, no, zoom out 10 times that, 100,000 times that. See yourself as an eternal soul here on an evolutionary journey. Okay? And so when we say this administration or these times, it doesn't matter whether people like it or don't like it. When you are taking the perspective of the mystic, the explorer, the person who is interested in consciousness, expanding their consciousness, not just getting what you want. I always say to people, excuse me, your life isn't about getting what you want, checking off boxes. I got the this, the that, the this, the this. Because those things, if they're taken away from you, you will lose your happiness and peace. So you have to find unconditional happiness and peace, which has to do with a perspective shift. And that perspective shift is how you navigate life differently. No one else around you needs to know it. Don't think you're going to convince everybody else. They're only going to get it when they're seeking it and they want to hear what you're saying. So you have to come from another place. You're on another level now. You want to go to another level, then you have to go to another level. You want to get on another level, you have to go to the other level. The other level is, did I hear a woo back there?
Yeah, I did.
Do it again.
Woo!
All right. You got to go to that other level. Recap. All realities are agreed upon by all of us on a higher level, whether we like it here on Earth or not. Your purpose on Earth is not to get what you want, but to expand your consciousness. because that is where unconditional happiness lies. And therefore, when you say, how do I navigate life? You're saying, how do I have a happier life, more peaceful life? So that's how you're going to do it.
Very nice. That was, can you say that another level one?
If you want to go to another level, then you better go to another level. You go there. Another level means that you have another perspective. Whether that level, you call it higher, well, the perspective up here is going to be different, or it's deeper, the perspective here is going to be different. Notice when I said higher and I went down here, I didn't say lower. Let's get it straight.
Yeah.
Because it's not lower. We have too much attached to what the word lower means. It means it's bad, it's negative, it's not high vibrational. So I say a higher perspective and a deeper perspective. It's still going to be that viewpoint. So understanding the cosmic perspective of yourself, the eternal perspective of yourself, is where you will find the navigation to be more peaceful, therefore more powerful. Okay.
She said, perfect. Thank you. I needed that.
You got it, Michelle.
We have another super chat.
Yes,
which
please.
is from Karen.
Hi, Karen.
She'd like to know, are there any messages from my husband, Dale, who passed in March of 2023, or March 23rd, 2023?
March 23rd, 2023.
In particular, around her move, she's selling her house. Where is she going to settle?
Where are you going to settle? Wow. I mean, I believe ultimately it's like, what you want to give me 3 to pick where I see the vibration, because, you know, when I tune into where a person belongs, I might say to you, you know, you belong in Bali, Indonesia, and you're going to go, well, that's never going to happen. I go, right, but I'm tuning into where the energy vortex is strong for you. So I see points on the planet when I tune into a person that are very powerful centers. They're not going to move there. So what are your 3 choices for where the house can be? And let me tune in to see if Dale has a message for you. Well, he's popping the champagne is the first thing I want to say. I heard a pop. So yes, very, very good. Finally is what I'm hearing. Finally is what I'm hearing. I have a funny joke for you, which I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny because I get messages and I don't know what they mean. But he's like, throw away all your socks and get all new socks. I don't know what that's about. What's her name?
Karen.
Karen, tell me what that's about. It's like he wants you to spring clean the clothing, but it's interesting because I'm going towards this where the socks are, and it's like this. It's loving and funny and cute. There's another person there with him, by the way, who was military next to Dale. I don't know if he was in it, but I have to acknowledge this second person. Also, I don't know if this name Randall or Ronnie or means anything to you. Could be the last name too. Let me know about that. Is she writing back?
She says that she's looking in Southern California.
Perfect. The first place that I get is further south than we are. There's an area called Carlsbad. Around there, Carlsbad, Encinitas. I've actually never been there, but that name is coming. Look there. Curious what else she's going to say.
She said, that's my underwear. I don't know what that refers to.
She's making jokes about that. She's just
okay. And his brother Don.
Thank you. Brother Don was in the military.
Yes.
Thank you. But passed away. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Also, I don't know if this means anything to you. But was there some joke or obsession with garlic? Like a lot of garlic on food or Italian food?
Yes, it is Carlsbad.
It is Carlsbad?
Yeah, that's where she wants
Ring
to go.
the bell.
Ring that bell.
Dang.
Isn't that wild?
I love the confirmation.
Karen, isn't that wild when that happens?
She said, by my socks. Like near her socks.
Uh-huh.
So I think that was, you were asking about where something was located. Because the delay.
It's the delay.
Yeah.
But he's doing very well. And by the way, put a very big heart around the month of September. Is that an anniversary of somebody's or birthday? I'd like to know, Karen.
She said yes. to what you said before that question.
Oh, was about the garlic thing?
Yeah. Yes, I think that was to the garlic. She was like,
I'd like to know what, though. Don't just say yes, Karen.
Yeah, it's just I think the delay is a little bit different for some people. So
of course.
I'll see if she says anything else. And let me pick another question.
Go. Sure.
Shatanya would like to know, which modality should I start working with first? Herbs, crystals, energy? What would be best for her?
Yes. I love all of it. I'm very much drawn to you and herbs together. There's something here. Of course, it needs more development and kind of going in deeper. The moment you're going to go into herbs and crystals, you're going to get into aromatherapy as well. The herbs are going to be a longer process because of what the knowledge you have to have about physiology and understanding that. But I do like it for you. I do feel that you should study deeper. If you could study it on a level of where TCM doctors do it. I mean, that's several years to learn acupuncture and herbology, but you certainly can take some courses in it. I feel that the knowledge needs to deepen a little bit more, whether it's in Ayurveda or it's in TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. The crystal is going to just come naturally. I am seeing more tinctures and things like essential oils, and the herbs, yes, to that. But I also, by the way, side note, what's her name again? Shatanya? Shatanya? Shatanya, I'm getting a message about physicality with you. How are your arms and tendons feeling? Have you had any inflammation, or have you had any... I'll tell you what I feel. As I'm talking about you to you, I feel a ton of energy flowing through my left side and my arms, as if either that usually means to me this person has had the same feeling, like they've strained it, or there's just a lot of energy to come through your hands. How you are maybe even working physically on someone, maybe even some form of body work. Doesn't have to be, remember, massage therapy is not the only form of body work. There's other things one can do. But there's something here about the points on the body and learning how to bring chi more into balance in the body. She's saying anything?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Though you had said to Karen, you'd asked about October.
September.
Sorry, but October 1st.
Yes.
Which is the day after their anniversary.
Is their anniversary? Okay.
Yeah.
But it's still September. It's not October. Anytime I say a month, it's not.
It's very specific.
I never go close enough. I'm very like, no, there's something there. And if she doesn't know yet, it's usually then good news in that month. Okay.
Great explanation. Thank you.
Thank you.
People know that.
Yeah.
Erica, for the new people that are coming in right now, can you just go over the house rules real quick?
Yep. You want me to do it on the mic? Sure. So for the house rules for everyone, when you're asking a question, make sure that you put your name in it. If it is a mediumship question, make sure you put the person's name in it and when they crossed over. Our first priority questions are the $50 super chats. Second priority is the $20 super chats. You can also ask a free question, which we will get to if we can.
Yes. Now I have a spirit shout out.
And Shatoya says right shoulder nerve.
Shatanya.
Shatanya.
Right shoulder. Okay. So this is whatever it is, that's where I felt the inflammation. Interesting for me, left side. You're saying it's right side. But the bottom line of the message about the inflammation, which I gave you earlier, is that these modalities are also going to be helping you. You are your best test subject. Okay, spirit shout out that I wanted to say this. So there's a spirit shout out. If you guys are just joining us for the first time, is where I get a message first and it applies to one of you. It's very specific. So the name Olive is coming through and I feel it's a name. Now this could be a person's name. Maybe it's a pet's name. That's where I'm going first with this. Someone is on the other side here giving a message to one of you who's watching with the name Olive. Now, if this person has a great sense of humor and it's not the name Olive, or like they died by choking on an olive, I will really laugh if that's how they're actually introducing themselves to me. Or maybe there's a joke about olives. Or you're eating olives right now. Let's see. All right, next super chat.
Hey, okay, so the next question is actually from Paul. How do you deal with distractions while meditating?
I think I want to say something, and then I'm sure that O will want to say something about this as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you where I practice meditating, Paul. I used to practice meditating riding the New York City subway. Yes. Noise, smells, sights, movement, shaking, lights on and off, delays, conversations of people in many, many different languages. This actually helped me because I started to tune out. I started to be able to tune out the noise. Sometimes I have actually meditated more powerfully in very noisy physical environments. I share this with you because there's two types of meditation. Now, having an Indian background, I will tell you that the masters or people that I have come in contact with throughout my life, they would say that no one here is learning how to meditate. What you're learning here are relaxation exercises. The classical definition of meditation is no thought, no feeling, no reaction, no nothing. There's a nothingness. There's a complete eternalness that is happening. It is not a feeling necessarily of, oh, this feels so good. Though, who wouldn't want that? So meditation is the practice of no thought whatsoever. Not even, oh, this is so peaceful. I'm in this meditative bliss. My God, I love this. That traditionally, classically, that wouldn't be considered meditation by the gurus. Fine. So let's say that what we're actually talking about, guys, the meditation that we all practice or we learn are simply relaxation techniques, which is good. It does really help your life. So I practiced in a quiet room in my house with a candle. And then I practiced on the subway where I allowed nothing to bother me. That is the whole thing. Something's bothering you. How do you practice meditation, Paul, if something's bothering you? I had to do this in two ways. One was I had to do the personal inner transformational work where I didn't make anything wrong. Nothing could be wrong. If I'm meditating and the neighbor's dog is barking, I take it for me that the neighbor's dog is my spirit animal coaching me. And the dog is saying, so can you meditate with me barking? I use whatever is in my environment to fuel me. And I believe that that is actually the future of the entire world, being able to recycle energy or recycle things or use things that we think are detrimental to us and through alchemy, make them positive for us, right? Some technologies are turning garbage into energy. So I actually have that process in my mind as something I believe in because for me to have peace, I can't just be constantly trying to find a quiet spot. What's that going to do, right? If my inner world is not quiet, there's some people who are very, very isolated and their mind is so noisy. So that's my philosophical and technical answer for you. Now, to be a little bit more specific in this area of your actual day-to-day practice, guided meditation is excellent. Guided meditation. There's also, by the way, guys, there's all sorts of natural supplements that you can take to help calm your mind. So again, we don't give medical advice here, but I'll just say that I like theanine, which you can get, and there's herbs. Earlier, Shaitanya was talking about herbs. Yes, there are herbs that you can use. I'm not talking about weed. I'm talking about actual different kinds of herbs, and that you can use to calm your nervous system that are very good for that. Also, guided meditations, find them on YouTube, put the headphones on, that'll help you. I also find that exerting yourself physically before you meditate. So going for a run, doing a bunch of squats, a bunch of jumping jacks to get the air going, and that allows you to recover. And in that recovery time, from when you're panting, the cycles of breath start to level out, and you find a more natural pattern of breathing. One of the greatest meditation tips I can give you guys is when you're laying in your bed, people say really focus on your breathing. you could, but ultimately what I want you to do is to not focus on your breathing and to let go of controlling your breathing and let the body teach you how it wants to breathe. Tonight, when you guys go to sleep, you're not going to be telling your body how to breathe. It already knows how. So lay there, close your eyes tonight, and let go of controlling your breath. You will know, it's a mental switch you do, that you're backing off. And you'll notice that your shoulders may drop. You'll notice the air, where it's going, whether it's in your chest, solar plexus, or in your belly. And you'd be surprised how little breath your body needs, how little air your body needs when it breathes. So that's my answer. Use all of that. Rewind, Paul, and let this land on you. Okay. Any spirit shout out to what I was saying? Okay.
Just one kind of follow-up question with that someone asked Cassidy. If you're dealing with chronic pain as well, is there anything you can kind of help when you're trying to meditate and you have pain like that?
Cassidy, first of all, Cassidy, I want to say my heart goes out to you when you have physical pain. Yeah, of course, it's much harder. It's much harder when there's physical pain going on. I noticed that when women give birth, and some of the birthing techniques, because what physical pain could be worse than that, that many women have meditated their way through even giving birth without an epidural. So I would say that it is possible. You would take great mastery to kind of bypass great physical pain. I think that in the birthing process, women are able to do it, number one, because they're so committed to that baby coming out. Number two, they just want the baby out because they want this to be over after 9 months also. And number three, something takes over. Something takes over where all the coaching in the world from the doctors and the nurses and the partners means nothing. It's like there's a moment where the mother just goes, I got this. Just everybody just shut up and back off. So I think that's what happens, me not being a woman watching this. That's what I have gathered from it. But I would say to you that certainly whatever you can do to help your physical pain, which you're probably already doing, you have to do. But you have to meditate. What I would do is, in that process, meditate on the healing, the body rejuvenating. And there's lots of meditations you can find on for free on YouTube about guided meditations to help alleviate pain. Do those.
Also, if you change your diet to an anti-inflammatory diet, you can go check out Dr. Mark Hyman, and he specifies very detailed recipes that are for pain and inflammation, and you can start to lessen your inflammation and your pain by reducing the inflammation responses in your body, because inflammation is pain, and so it can help lessen whatever pain you're dealing with. It helps with the white blood cells. It helps with healing whatever it is that's injured. Like, you just get more circulation, more blood to that area. So it's really good to have these superfoods. Just understand exactly the right foods to eat. That's, I would say, primary also. Number one.
Controlling inflammation is number one. All
important.
doctors are saying that.
Yeah.
Right? It's just all about the inflammation.
Well, this is a good time to take a little break. Let people catch up.
Are you going somewhere?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
A little break. It'd be really funny if you left and when we heard the blender going and you start making one of those shakes.
Oh, like that kind of break?
Take
Like
us break,
get up
break.
and walk out. So what would you like to talk about? Anything new?
Yeah, I want to talk about something I'm launching the first week of March, guys. So I am launching a new podcast on YouTube and on different platforms.
Different channel.
Yeah, which is a show called Brotherhood, The Deepest Talk You Never Had. And this is a podcast for men primarily, where myself and I have the greatest two co-hosts with me, a guy named Justin and Key, who are diving into topics with me. And we've been filming some episodes, and they're going to drop the first week of March here on YouTube. It's called Brotherhood, and you guys will see the channel. And we're going to be addressing the issues that men have been carrying and dealing with from birth, the programming that goes on, from being told not to cry and how that shuts down our emotions, being told that we have to be some version of an alpha male that is dictated and defined by other people, where it affects our relationships, our communication, our relationship to our own inner being. And I believe that this is a podcast that is very, very needed. And we drop in, share our experiences. it's going to be a movement. This is going to be a movement because there is no podcast out there right now. There's podcasts for everything for men, except for people really sharing, articulating from the heart in a space that is encouraging and supportive. And I think a lot of women are going to get things out of this too, whether it's your husband or your boyfriend or your brother or your dad or your friend. You'll begin to understand the inner world of men and why they do what they do or why they are the way that they are. Something happened to the broadcast.
So
yeah,
Eric and I sat in on your podcast today.
Yeah.
And we were like so excited. First of all, we were very touched. We were very moved. It was super authentic.
Thank you.
It was very fresh, like cutting edge. But the thing that I took away from it was, wow, yes, this is a podcast for men. But immediately I realized, oh, this is for women to understand what's going on with men.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute. There's a lot of women who are going to really appreciate why men are silent. This is usually what's happening.
Yeah. The first episode is called Pretend It Doesn't Hurt. The pain of suppressing pain. Pretend it doesn't hurt.
And the second episode?
The second episode is called Is the Grind Grinding You Down?
Can you believe these topics?
The third episode is called Fatherless Kings. How did we get here? Dives into our relationship with our dads or lack of relationship with our dads. Yeah, I'm very excited about it, guys. I hope you guys will tune in. I'll be dropping links and we'll be sharing stuff on the community page and you'll subscribe to that channel.
Yeah, we're gonna drop about 5 episodes on when we first launch and premiere. The first episode will be a premiere live, so you can watch it live, and then you can just binge watch those 5. And if there's topics that you guys want to talk about, or you could drop it in the comments, and if you want to share it with other men, I'm so excited about this.
Yeah.
This is a long time coming. It's so necessary to hear men speaking from the heart that are really living the practical life that men live, and that are not speaking aggressive, that are not speaking bro talk. That's very intelligent communication, different ages. You guys are from different walks of life.
Yeah.
You guys it's like you're bringing your personal stories. You guys are vulnerable, opening your heart, laying it all out there for people to hear.
There's many sides to masculinity. It's not all guys are into sports the way other guys are into sports. Not all guys are into lifting at the gym the same way. They like other forms of exercise. Yeah. There's so many different types, right?
Well, as a sensitive woman, and I know there's a lot of sensitive women out there, when I have come across male podcasts, like male hosts talking about relationship, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Now, I know maybe I'm a little picky, but I get turned off. Because there's so much aggression and bro talk and trying to be cool. I'm like super grossed out.
It's not brother talk, it's bro talk.
Because when you bring that home, that doesn't fly with a woman. A woman doesn't want to be a bro with you. So when you're talking to men as bros, like you can hang out, you guys do that talk. It's not realistic. It's like a big facade, and it's a big layer that needs to be cracked off. And the way you guys are doing it is so real, and there's a gentleness, I would say the word genteel even, that you guys are like gentlemen about it. You guys are actually just sharing like real, unpretentious, no layers, real practical conversations about what men experience growing up, different eras, and how it impacts your life.
Different kinds of readings on that one. That one's just sharing. No psychic stuff on that one. Even though it's about healing.
Did I say readings?
No, I'm just telling people no. It's not a psychic podcast.
It's not a psychic podcast. Yeah.
So how are we doing? You were saying there was a spirit shout out.
That is correct.
Let's hear it.
So before you do that, I would just like to make a little note. Riz likes to cut me off all the time, and I'm so tired of it.
Really?
I hate it.
I think that people think you cut me off.
We're going to put this on the Brotherhood podcast. Okay, you guys who know us very well, who cuts who off the most?
Group poll, everyone.
Honestly, I could tell you, I swear, Riz cuts me off more than I cut him off.
They know.
They do know. I really want to hear this, you guys.
They're definitely going to weigh in.
Let her have it.
Let me tell you
the replay or the delay.
Here's what I like to do. I like to wrap things up, right? When I'm coming to a close, I like to end it with a little bow. And Riz has no patience for that. And so maybe because he's a fire sign. So as soon as I start to kind of wind down, he goes, all right, we're done. And he moves on. And I'm like, I didn't get to wrap it up. I didn't get to finish wrapping up my statement. actually what's happening. I just want to know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll let you know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know, you guys. I'd like to know, who do you think cuts off who the most? I'm really curious. Let's take
We'll
a
do
poll.
a poll. Okay.
Okay, so far, well, only 2 people have replied, but both of those 2 people said Riz.
Well, I'm going to see your membership status now.
There is no memberships on this channel.
Yeah, that's
Your subscriber status. Delete. Okay.
Oh, we got another one that says Riz.
Really?
Where's
Really?
my bell?
Really?
Where's
What is she?
my bell?
Riz wants to say so bad, like, who is saying these comments.
Yes.
So that
I
he
will
can
find
know.
out. I'm going to go
I don't
through.
understand. Riz likes to punish, so he wants to find out who's the one that
I'm
are
looking at
siding
you
with
right
me.
now.
I'm
looking
gonna
at
try
you
to
right
protect
now.
you guys, but
Honestly, Erica, I dare you to say their names. He's gonna put them on the naughty
That's
list.
all right. I'm going to scroll.
He's gonna put them on the naughty list.
Wait till
my
the
God.
Christmas
No,
episode,
he will.
guys.
He will.
oh wait,
Erica, read who's the ones that are siding with me. I'd like to know.
Buckshot,
Yes, thank you very much.
Really?
Kathy,
Yes. Is it-
Really?
which Kathy?
Kathy Gross,
Okay.
and Amy Harris
Okay.
also, and everyone else switched topics because they don't want to get in trouble.
They don't want to
You're
get in trouble
smart.
because they want to read.
You're very,
You
very
guys,
smart.
Oh my God.
Stay smart. It's good
Seriously.
for
Oh
you.
wait, Moanne just said, I feel your pain, Lady O. Riz is guilty, #1. So
Let's hope you don't have a question, Moanne.
That's why they're going to be quiet.
Let's hope.
Damn.
All right.
The power
thought
he
What is that?
everyone-
What is a spirit
Man.
shout out?
Okay, so he's done with the
Yeah, I would like to get back to the purpose of this show, which is readings. Okay, go on.
I have to get control of myself.
Okay.
Give me a second. Okay. It was for Olive,
Yeah.
actually, and that is Rogue, who goes by the name Cindy, and her grandma Olive passed in 1982.
Thank you. So Olive is here, Rogue, and it's such an unusual name. You never hear that as a name. That's why I was wondering, is this a name? I to this day have never met anyone named Olive. So she just wants to pop in and say hello and give you a big virtual hug and let you know that she is now going to start. You're going to start to feel her energy flow to you more. This was the little crack through that had to happen. You had to be watching this live and she had to come through and make sure that you got that message. So congratulations, Grandma is watching. And I have another spirit shout out.
Okay.
The name is like Ginny, not Jenny. Ginny.
Like G-I.
Like Ginny?
Yeah.
It would be a Y, not an IE, right?
It can be an IE.
So
too,
is
yeah.
that the actual name or is that the nickname? Is that short for Virginia or what other name is like that?
I don't think that's it.
Genevieve?
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've known Ginnies like that's.
Or it's either Ginny or it's Genevieve.
Hmm.
Yes, I'm feeling more as I'm feeling this message for you. Let us know. All right. Who's
so we
next?
have some super chats to answer.
Let's do it.
Tracy says, in her I think she's speaking about her meditations. I
Yes.
hear a lot of conversations going on.
Oh,
Do you have any advice on how to focus on what I need to hear?
yes.
I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. Thank you.
Okay. Tracy, thank you for the question. I love this. This is very close to my heart. It used to happen to me. First of all, have you ever seen the film, the first 2 or 3 X-Men movies? Marvel. And it was, oh my God, what's the name of it? It was Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek. What's his name?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart plays Professor X in the X-Men. And he's a psychic and he is the teacher of all the different X-Men. So he would go into this big area, this dome, and he put this helmet on that he developed, and with his psychic ability would amplify his psychic ability, and he would hear all the voices of all the mutants around the world, literally all around the planet. And he would hear their conversations and he would hone in psychically to one that he would want to dial in. So this experience of you hearing many, many different voices is where you begin to hone your abilities to dial in, to hone in on it. For example, one of the ways that I would help people who would have this happen to them in their psychic experience is when I would have them do a meditation, I'd have them close their eyes, and I would say, bring your awareness to the space behind your left knee, down 2 inches on your calf. Be very specific like that. And I would lead them in a breathing exercise to relax their minds and their nervous system. And they're bringing their awareness while they're completely relaxing their body. That was number one. You had to relax. If you tense up, your attention will start to go to the areas of your body where you're tense. And so now that inner awareness, then they would say, oh, I think I can feel that space down behind my knee and 2 inches down. Then I would pick another spot on their body for them to bring their awareness to. I would say, bring your awareness to your third rib from the bottom up on your right side. And then in their mind, they're counting, they're trying to feel where that rib is mentally. And so what it would do was it would automatically start to lessen their awareness of other parts of their body. The parallel to this for your experiences where you begin to hone in on a particular frequency amongst all those voices that you should be hearing. This is kind of not just a training that your spirit guides are deliberately doing, but it is just a matter of the phenomenon of psychic awareness, is that you start to hear more frequencies. If you go back to the top of this show, I was talking about how there's so many frequencies. Right now, where all of you guys live, there are songs flying through the room you are in right now, because radio stations are broadcasting. So those songs are being sent out, flying through the air. So to hear those songs on the radio, you would need a radio with an antenna. And then you would need to dial 98.9, 100.1, dialing in, honing in on the frequency. That antenna is going to pick up that frequency, and then you'll hear that song. Now imagine if that radio was picking up all of them, that there was no dial on it. You would just hear 100 songs. It would be a cacophony of sound and notes. So you do have an antenna. Developing your antenna, notice how to focus different parts of your body. Also, another exercise you could do is just to sit here. And now, as I'm sitting here, right, I'm looking into the next room of our house, and I have peripheral vision where I can see a little bit of O, and I can see a little bit of this table that's off camera to the left of me. But though I'm aware that it's there, there's a lot of information for me to take in. I would have to really drop in, breathe, and relax to allow myself to, so right now I'm looking at O, even though I'm looking straight ahead, there's peripheral vision. So I pretty much notice where her hand is. I know her left hand is not moving. It's not moving. And I know that her right hand is on the computer. Now she's reaching forward to the computer, but I'm not shifting my eyes. It's through this part of my vision. That's how we develop a more specific listening capability. So practice things like that. Okay.
We might have a Jenny.
Yes.
'Cause just one person did chime in. Christine Marie.
Yes, Christine Marie.
Her neighbor that she grew up with,
yes,
named Virginia,
yes,
went by Jenny.
Yes.
Her funeral was just yesterday.
Thank you. Woo! Christine Marie.
Mm-hmm.
How crazy is that? Did you guys hear that? So the Ginny that I said earlier that was coming through from the other side is her neighbor whose funeral was yesterday. Some people say, but I thought we can't connect to them when they cross over for those 6 months to a year. 99% of the time, but there are exceptions when they want to send a message. I don't ever initiate the contact. She came through letting you know. Listen, if her family doesn't believe this, let them know that she came through, because you're the one watching this broadcast. They are not. You can just say, hey, I was watching a medium and he said her name. She's fine and well, has made it to the other side. Enough to say hello during this live broadcast, okay? Let them know if you can. So what, they're going to think you're crazy? I'd want to know. I'd want to know if one of my family members came through the person next door. So just let them know she crossed over fine. and is in the light, all is well. Thank you,
Amazing.
Christine Marie. That's very nice of you to put that together.
So I asked everybody in the chat who's a healer and what type of healer. So quite a few healers in the house.
Yeah.
And everyone has different types of modalities. Some people think they have to have like a certification or they have to be like a professional. But I was explaining that you could be a chef. It's all about your intentions. It's all about where you're placing your intentions as a healer. And so it was interesting because Paul asked, well, I don't know what kind of healer I am. You know, like I just write quotes on the community board to help people feel good, inspire. And so I asked everybody in the chat who knows Paul for all these years, what type of healer do they think he is? And I started it off by saying he wants everybody to know that he is here for them and supportive and has a lot of love to give. That's his healing ability. Wouldn't you agree?
I met Paul in person at one of our events about a year ago almost, right?
Yeah.
And the thing that struck me about Paul was his genuine friendliness.
Yes.
His genuine, like, non-judgmental character. He was just there because he was happy to be there.
And he welcomes every single person that comes on the chat around the world.
That's how
60 episodes he has been practically almost since the beginning.
If you guys see Buckshot there, he's been with us since episode
Paul,
1.
Same person.
Yeah, and he's the one who always welcomes people and says hello. And I really respect that because it's just a lot of love. It's just you want to connect and you want people to know.
Yeah, and I feel like our regulars who have been here, like the Amy's, we have quite a few Amy's and quite a few Lindas that have been with us from the beginning. That's wonderful, and you know, we really appreciate you guys. You know, we really love that you support the group and you're talkative and you help people out and all the newbies who come in and you help them feel at home and you answer questions and you keep the conversation going. And I try not to get involved in your snack conversations because I know what happens when we start going into snacks.
Now I'm hungry.
It doesn't take much. And so already people are talking about what are you snacking on? It's the momentum. They always need to know what each other's
I got a
snacking
question.
on. So somebody's on cheese doodles right now.
Puffy or crunchy?
I'm not going to get involved in this conversation because that once we start opening this can of worms,
I don't want this whole new health administration messing with my artificial colors. Okay.
Oh no.
Half of my body is made of artificial colors.
Do not go there.
Listen, as long as the taste stays the same of Lucky Charms, you can do whatever you want, but it better taste exactly the same, if not better.
Maybe we can make that happen.
It's going to be like European countries. That's why they don't accept any American foods there because
that's their problem.
Probably 50% of our chemicals are not allowed in there.
Well, then I'll fly to Europe if I want their food.
Regulated and illegal.
Don't mess with my Captain
Europe.
Crunch. It has goodness.
Riz, we cannot talk about sugar.
It's not even about sugar. It's about red dye number or whatever.
Oh, you better quit while you're.
Speaking of red dye, how do you like Lady O's hair?
Excellent transition.
Excellent transition.
You have your elven look. I like when you push it behind your ears because you look like the elven queen.
I try to tell everybody when I fidget a lot. Okay, you guys, those that know me. So when I fidget a lot on the hair, on the clothes, it's because I'm hot flashing and I'm going crazy and I have the fan on me.
You literally look like you have elf ears.
So yes, I do have elf ears.
That's your Irish Celtic.
Well, I think
blood.
I'm actually an elf.
No, seriously, you look like the one from The Hobbit right now. You guys know who I'm talking about?
An elf.
What was her name? Look it up. Look it up. There's Google.
Don't she knows. Erica knows. She was that for Halloween.
What?
Tariel.
And you're a Taurus. Tariel. Yes. Doesn't she look like the elf from The Hobbit?
Yes.
Google it, guys. You'll see the picture. You look better than her.
Thank you.
But you know, you really do. Look at those elf ears.
Yeah, that's why I did it because I was like, wait, I think I look.
Can I just say I love the pink pyramid behind your head? Speaking of which, guys, the pyramids, every year we lead a sacred, mystical retreat to the pyramids of Egypt. Where have you been if you haven't seen these pictures? Because they're all over social media. We lead a group there every single year. It's totally safe to go there now. We just led a retreat there a few months ago. And it's going to be incredible. You'll ride camels. We're going to take you into the pyramids, meditate at the top of the pyramids. You're going to be on the Nile River. You're going to be at the temples of the goddesses. You're going to be at the Hathor temple, Sekhmet's temple. You're going to be standing by the Sphinx. You're going to be experiencing amazing food and culture and energy vortexes and the mysteries of this ancient land. And we guide you through it every step of the way. It's a private tour. Stay at amazing hotels with
Wait,
amazing
why did you say Egypt right
amenities.
now? You were psychic.
Because the pink pyramid.
But did you know that Deb and who was the other one? That's here from Egypt.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't know that.
Well,
What?
Deb and who?
Kelly. They're both on.
Oh,
the
who
chat
came
right
to
now.
who came to Egypt with us?
They're on the chat tonight.
Deb and Kelly, who came to Egypt with us.
How was it, you guys? Let everybody know. How it was.
Drop some gems about how great it was. Well, anyway, we have 2 spots open for this November's retreat, so you must come to that. Okay, so let us know if you want to come in. There's going to be a little discount for our live audience. So if you leave your name, just type in, I want to go to Egypt, and Erica will contact you.
Yes.
And you can join us and get all the details of that. So there are 2 spots open. Let us know.
Amazing.
Also, there's 1 spot open for the Sedona Spring Shaman Retreat. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can we just talk about Sedona for a second? We always blast.
Oh, we can spend some...
Listen, you guys, we always blast through the announcements for the retreat.
No, we got to talk about Sedona.
You guys, listen, we have to talk about Sedona. I want to drop in with this conversation.
Okay.
So before I ever went to Sedona for the first time, I heard about it. I knew that it had these special red rocks. I knew that it had vortexes, and it was like a place for spiritual people to go. So the first time I went to Sedona, because I'm a jaded Angelino, I was like, oh, it's just going to be another desert, like whatever. So I get there, and as we're driving up and driving into the canyons, I could even feel it right now.
Yeah.
Something came over me. It was like ancestral. And it was like a combination of between a mothership UFO above your head that's just planted there stationary and you can't see it, to ancestral Hopi Native American like sacred bubble. You just entered into a vortex. And then we find out Sedona is sitting on top of a crystal grid.
Well, quartz. Yeah,
quartz.
it's quartz.
All of Sedona is on crystals. So when you're walking around, you're going to get ice cream and going to eat or going to a little store or going on just practical, like normal human things in Sedona, you can't help but feel the massive energy around you. You can't pretend it's not there. I know the locals are used to it, but you don't get used to it.
Well,
so as you look up, these mountainous giant, we call them giants because they're alive. There's these red rocks. They have like these, it's like an energy of like the gods, like they're infused.
They almost look like tall gods in some of the spots. Yeah.
And so each one of these different, each one has a different name and personalities. And so they all have different types of vortexes. And so each one of them have different hiking trails. So what we do is we get a big, beautiful retreat house. And we have like, I think no more than 10 people. And
they're small retreats because they're personal.
We spend the weekend. And what we do is we go back into these trails. We hike morning and in the evening. We do Jeep tours. So we drive in way into the Hopi reservations to where you can actually see where the bricks and the writing on the wall.
Yeah, there's no reservation, right?
People.
Yes, there's not a reservation, active reservation, just to clarify.
Right.
We're going to the ancient sites of the Sinagua Indians. There were Hopis who did come there, but the land is Sinagua.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then on top of that, we channel. So Riz channels. In
Red
the
Eagle,
evening,
we do a didgeridoo healing, sound healing.
We do didgeridoo sound healing.
Yeah.
We have like superfood, awesome, fresh, cooked meals in our home, in the home that we're in. And the evenings are amazing. The meditations are amazing. The stars, you see UFOs. It is incredible. It is one of our favorite retreats.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to drop in with it because we always rush through like, Sedona. No.
No, you got to know that if I were to say to someone, well, what is the place that you should go to heal if you live in the United States? Where should you go for a few days to really drop into your spirit, to really drop into meditation, to breathing, to feeling a different energy than wherever it is that you live? It would be Sedona. My number one spiritual vortex spot Sedona is the entire area of Sedona is a vortex. Then you have certain centers of energy within Sedona that we take you to. A vortex for us healers is a place where the energy is amplified, where the energy comes up and goes down. It's like a spiral.
Yeah.
And you can literally, if you tune in and you practice meditation there, you will begin to feel a resetting and recalibration.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel it in your mood. Sometimes you feel it in your skin. Sometimes there are people who have literally felt that their entire DNA has been rejuvenated.
They leave a different person.
Yeah.
I've seen people lighten they come in very serious and heavy, and all of a sudden they leave like light and free. And there's other people who come in thinking like, this is the greatest thing. And then they are like crying, like sitting in front of a tree, like under, like near one of the big sites. There's a birthing cave that we also go to where Native Americans would go birth. I don't know if you mentioned that.
Yes.
So anyway, I just want to let you guys know I put the link. So you guys, if you're interested in joining us for, is it 20 this year or
March? No, there's a few of them. There's only a couple of spots. Most of these retreats, 2 of the Sedona retreats are all sold out. I think we have one spot for March, and then maybe one spot for when?
June.
Oh, one spot for June.
There's one.
Well, it's only
spot
2 spots left, guys. So if you're
yeah.
interested in that, please leave a comment for Erica to reach out to you. These are, the retreats that we've been leading have great meaning. I like to say, if you want to go forward, retreat. Go to a retreat. Go to a spiritual retreat and take time off. That's where you spend your money and your time. There's a time to go to Vegas and have fun and have a vacation and those things, but we are at a time, especially now, where get ready for quite a ride. If you think it's been a ride, get ready for even a bigger ride, because we're on the verge of alien disclosure. We are on the verge of a lot of things coming forward. By the way, in that alien UFO disclosure and the Senate hearings, they talked about where the hotspots are and where there are known landing sites. So they named the landing sites that everybody who's interested in this knows about, but then they added, and Sedona, Arizona. On the Senate floor to the Congress people, Sedona, by the whistleblowers, was said that it is a known landing spot for UFOs. That's what's happening.
We wanted to live there.
For real.
We've wanted to live there.
Oh, I think we're going to one day.
Because
you could see that.
Yeah.
I want it to be that we could have a house there one day.
Because when we're
that's
there,
the life
we don't
I
want to leave. That's the feeling we always have.
Yeah, that's my dream, is to have a house in that landscape and then by the beach.
It would make sense that we live there. And then we could like have some sort of little healing center, and then people can come.
Absolutely.
Like we
then
had
you guys
when we
can
were
come.
in Malibu.
Yeah. All right. Any questions?
Yes, that was a nice fun drop in, everybody.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
So this question is for Monica.
Yes.
She'd like to know how her father Stanley felt with her care for him during his final chapter of life, and how to continue dealing with her elderly mother, Machiko.
Question for you, Monica. Did you read to your dad? It's the first thing that I want to know. It's the first thing that I'm getting. Could you answer that for me? And then I'm going to tune into, Monica wants to know about her. Did you say, what was his name? Machiko?
Machiko is her mother.
Oh.
Is still alive. She's carrying.
Yes, I know. I get it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And how to deal with her?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very vast question. How do you deal with them? You have to deal with the fact that they're passing. You have to deal with the fact that you need to be there. You have to deal with the parts that are we have conflict with our parents, where you're understanding now there's a big change in life happening. The torch is being passed to you to be the elder. They will no longer be the elder. I was curious about your mom. Does she have a sister who passed? There seems to be a female energy around her in this stage, who is going to be the first person seeing her, but I do not get that it is a mother. So I'm not getting that it's your mother's mother. I'm getting it's a female closer to your mother's age, which usually is a sister or the best friend.
To your first question, she said yes, she did.
She did read to him, yeah. He's thanking you for the reading to him. That's the first thing that I saw. He appreciated that. It lifted his spirits and helped him believe. Was this religious? Were you reading religious text to him or something? It helped him, because what I'm getting from him, by the way, he came through immediately. I'm getting like that. That's truly what kind of made it easier for him to cross over. So many thanks, love, and hugs. In Spanish, I want to say besos y abrazos. I don't know if she's Spanish, but anyway, that's what I want to say. Let me see. There's a birthday coming up, he says. I'm going to show you how he showed it to me. Like these little cakes with sprinkles on them. He's like, put sprinkles on the cakes. Somebody's birthday's coming up for sure. And I don't mean, yeah.
She said many books. He
Yes.
was Buddhist. So
He was
it went
Buddhist. Thank
spiritual,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
But Chico is Japanese. We
Japanese.
don't fully know her history, though.
Okay.
Jason.
Thank you for that.
Everything. Were
Go
you
on.
done
Finally.
with the I wasn't sure if he was done with the message. Sorry.
Well, I'm just
Yeah.
moving on. I'm sorry. I had to. For that
Question
second.
about whether the mom was, mom had a sister who passed or not.
Okay, we'll see. That comes through. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
question is, are we still taking questions?
Of course we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for all the newbies that are just joining us, there's a few little house rules. Erica is posting it and it's pinned at the top. It's a little too long to go over it again right now, but if you want to, you can.
Yeah. So just so everybody knows, we're doing super chats. Have first priority, $50. You're the next question. $20 we ask during the live. Other questions are freebies, and we get to them when we can. Or if we can.
And we will.
But not all of them.
Yeah, we can't do all the questions. I mean, yeah, but we were going to get to the super chats,
Yes.
the express, and the free questions.
Yes.
Okay.
So speaking of super chats.
Yes.
We have a question from Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer.
My dad is Richard. He passed January 7th, 2023. Does he have a message for me?
Question for you was, Jennifer, is there someone in this family who was on crutches or is on crutches or had some leg surgery? I'm curious about that. Also, was there any issue in this family, whether it's Richard or not, where the circulation or some limb of the body was not getting enough, I guess, flow, or had to be amputated, whether it was him or someone in the family? Because I'm getting someone who here was more than just your dad immediately. I just felt a large amount of people, believe it or not even just like 2 or 3. I felt like 5 or 6. So I'm having to sort this out very quickly here. Richard, thank you. I'm trying to just everybody else to be quiet here. Okay. Has there been any activity, Jennifer, in your house where things are getting knocked over? Was there recently a broken jug or something like that? You didn't know how it broke, or you didn't know? I see glass broken. That's why. And to me, it's something bigger.
He did say he had hip surgery and his circulation was terrible.
Yes, but the circulation now is fine. So he was saying circulation. So yes, so they sometimes do that just to let me know what was going on with the body. And so hip, leg, same thing. Great. So we got him. Awesome. Is there an October birthday in this family also? And who is that? And is the name Sarah connected to you guys? Sam or Sarah? I know I'm asking you a couple of questions, but I'm just going to tell you what they're showing me. Also, who has the home or who did the vacation near the cliffs? What is that significance of the cliffs? Cliffs are usually near water, I would think. Are there cliffs not near water? Do you just have regular cliffs? I guess you do, right? Sorry, I'm not an expert in geology.
She said to something, she said, yes, my mom. She's not sure of the Sarah reference, but
okay. But yes, my mom, what was that?
It was...
Try to clarify,
October?
Jennifer. When you say yes to something, what are we talking about?
Oh, her mom. Her mom's birthday is October 2nd.
Thank you. And mom is still here, so it is giving love to that person, which is great, right? Because that's your mom. Also, was there something between you and him about graduation? Is there a picture of you and him at graduation that you really love, or did he not come to graduation? It's like a thing. When I say I don't know which one it is, it's because I feel a lot of energy around graduation time. So I don't know how old you are, but you'd have to go back if you're older. But he's focusing on that for me. We wait. This is a little bit of a delay.
Mm-hmm.
We should have that little.
I know, right? She was the first to graduate college.
She was the first to graduate college. So that's a big thing. Thank you. A lot of love around that. He's so proud of you. Thank you for joining us with that question. Of course, he's doing great. It goes without saying, but I still like to say it because I always feel it when I feel them. But I don't know. He's got a lot of people. Let me tell you, he's got a lot of friends on the other side because it was a group that came through. I want to tell you what he feels like to me. He feels like a big. Also, you didn't answer the thing about the jug or the thing breaking. He feels like a big thing, a big glass of lemonade. Your dad feels like a refreshing glass of lemonade. That's how the energy is popping, and it's fresh and clean and bright is how he feels to me.
I'm going to do a pop quiz when you're done.
Oh, by the way, he said, don't worry about getting older and feeling like when you were feeling like you were getting older, you were looking in the mirror or something, and your mental thoughts were like looking at your age. Your dad heard that and saw that and was like right there and was like, stop, don't do that. I'd love to hear your response to that, Jennifer. Okay, you were saying something?
Pop quiz.
Yes.
I'm going to give a pop quiz to everybody. So those of you who want to practice remote viewing, I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that right now.
Ooh, I'm going to lay back. Let's take a remote viewing break.
Who wants to give a shot at it? And we will go back to questions, not to worry, because I was reading some of the chats and there's some intense, serious questions. So, but we like to mix it up. So those of you who want to take a shot at it, what I'm going to ask you is to describe the room this way. So for me, that's my right side. So there's a room. And as you guys know, we're in our house. And as you guys know, I think we've told everybody that did we tell them what room we were in? Have we ever told them what room in the house we're in?
So.
Well, this used to be it is our dining room, basically.
So
okay.
We moved all the furniture out, and this is where we have our podcast. So there's a room to the right of us. So those of you who want to take a crack at it on what it looks like or what room that is.
Or anything in that room. The color of the walls. What are there couches? What shape the couches are? What color are the couches? Anything you get at all. And
so there's people already answering. So there's a room in front of us. If you're picking up on that room, that's not the room. There's a room to the right of us. And so that's the room you need to focus on. So let's see.
Your left and our right.
So we're in the dining room.
Somebody said there's a white wall to your right.
Yes.
On the other side, yeah.
On the other side, yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Not on this side, but on the other side, yes.
Oh, somebody said fireplace.
Okay, so
that was Paul.
Fireplace is correct. He might know from the other shows.
That's true.
Don't
that
cheat.
Could be cheating,
Paul.
Because we had different podcast setups
where you could see the fireplace.
You could see the fireplace.
He cheated. I know he cheated.
Yeah, see, Linda caught him. She said, "Paul, you're cheating." Okay. So we had somebody said living room. Shatanya said living room.
Yes.
And
correct.
That is correct.
Yeah.
She's the first one to get it.
Yes. Could have been a bedroom. Could have been a kitchen. You got it right.
And Linda, right? No, Linda got the white wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, some people are saying the color green.
Yeah, they're picking up on green.
Which there is some green over there.
What's there that's green?
Not a lot. It's not probably heavy green.
What green?
It's not a lot of green.
There's plants though.
Yeah, but like it's just a little.
That doesn't count.
Really?
No. Because it has to be a high, like high five.
It doesn't count. Come on, I have to be real with y'all. It doesn't count because it's a plant.
You guys, this is good practice for your third eye.
If the rug was green, if the couch was green, I'd say
why do you
awesome.
tune into our show if you're not going to practice your psychic abilities?
Yeah, you got to practice.
Right?
Listen,
this is how you practice.
Even if you don't think you have any, just give it a shot. Please, just give it a shot and just type in whatever because you never know. Just take a random guess.
Okay.
You can name items.
Jennifer got living room.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay, we have a winner here. So the person who said cream color, how do you say her name? Alita. Cream color wall. Yeah. But actually the living room is cream color. Most of our furniture is cream color.
Mm-hmm.
So no black suitcase, but interesting
Staircase.
because staircase. Yeah, no staircase. Light blue. So Lena got light blue, which is interesting because we do have a light blue pillows on the cream colored environment. The couch is not cream colored. There is a green painting hanging on the wall. There is white carpet. That's correct. Everybody's getting it. Look at this group. Everybody's getting into group consciousness here.
Yeah, keep going, guys.
Oh, wow. This is really great. Okay. White leather couches, no. White carpet, yes.
Leather. Wow.
But there is white on the couches.
There's white on the couches. No purple couch, no black couch.
That was our old house, though.
Yeah, that's really funny.
That's interesting. That was our old house. Was purple couches.
Are you guys reading our aura?
More than one person has said purple couch.
So the purple couch.
We had a famous purple couch.
So there was a famous purple couch
famous.
that we had in our old house.
That's very good, you guys.
That's good. That's good.
That's impressive.
Spirit shout out.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I see they're showing me an item. Now, I don't know if this is someone. This is actually a spirit guide showing this to me. Excuse me. This is not a message directly from a loved one. So this spirit shout out, my guides are showing me that you have, one of you is watching right now, has a kind of a decorative piece of a carousel with horses that go around. I don't want to say merry-go-round because that sounds more, it's more ornate. It is a carousel, almost like a French carousel. And you have this. It doesn't need to be in front of you right now. It could be in the other room, or it could be, it's one of your favorite pieces, but it's in the garage and store, but it's, you know it. And it's beautiful. And I would love to know who that is. And if it's you, let us know. And if it's right in front of you, take a picture and send it so we can see it. And I'll give you a message.
Easy.
There's also one more name that it's coming through. I need to talk about this name, and the name is Mara. M-A-R-A? I guess that's a name.
Yeah.
Is that a name? Okay,
yeah.
If Mara is connected to you, M-A-R-A, please let me know. Who's next in line?
All right, T. This is a general question from Moanne. It's a great question.
But Moanne's in trouble. Moanne's in trouble.
Well, then O can answer it because it was for both of you.
No, yeah. That's how I am, Moanne. That's how I am.
See, she's not gonna trust any time I ask questions like this.
Should have taken my side.
Hold on one second, because I may have a spirit shout out too. Okay, so but this was a great question from
what is
for
it?
Araya, since Riz
there's a question for you, honey. From one of your fans.
Wait till you hear the question. All right, what's your advice on speaking to young children about the death of loved ones, whether animals or people? I trust and value your input over any others. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for that. And I know a lot.
Clearly she does value your trust and input more than any others.
Riz.
Listen. It's okay for our friends to have favorites. And if they kind of lean towards you or lean towards me, it's fine.
Okay.
Some people like Snape better. Some people like Miss McConnelly. Or Miss McGonagall. Miss McGonagall. Okay, here's the answer. So I love talking about children. I don't talk about them enough. I wish there was more questions about children because I have 5 children, and oldest child is 32 or 33.
He's 32. He'll be 33 next month.
And the youngest is 19 in April.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what I would do about loved ones, loss of loved ones. First of all, the first thing that you have to know is your child is very connected to the other side still. So their comprehension of eternal life or living like the soul continues on, or like they're still alive, but they're just in a different form, is more understandable to them because they're still connected.
Until what age, though?
I would say until It depends if they're sensitives, like empathic. So the average child, I would say between 10 and 13, they start forming different opinions, maybe different belief systems. But the average child, if you're very sensitive and keep the sensitivities up, they can grasp the concept. But I really believe that if you teach your children from an early age that a soul chooses when it's time to move on, and they're not here in the physical, but they are still with you in the non-physical, and you could still communicate with them silently in your mind and in your heart, and you can communicate with them. Even you can draw pictures for them, and you can communicate to them in a way that you can ensure them that they will be, those thoughts and feelings will be heard and received by their friend or loved one or animal. And if you speak about it very calmly and matter-of-factly, and you talk about it like it's just an ordinary thing, of course, it's not going to be weird for them at all. They're actually going to think that that sounds pretty reasonable because they're still connected to that feeling on the other side.
And I think that you also have to tell them that you do that. So I would say to someone, oh, I talk to my, that person all the time, whoever that person is that crossed over. I'm like, oh, I say things to them in my mind all the time. And sometimes the kids say, do they say anything back? I go, sometimes. But they're busy on the other side, and I let them know that there is another side and that there's an active afterlife. I like that, but it is, I think there's an age cutoff, isn't there? Would you say 5 or 6, 7?
Well, 5, 6, and 7, they're very
side.
Connected. Like they'll remember their past lives and stuff. We should do a workshop one day. We always talk about these things, and we have to actually follow through with some of them. We try to, that we have a workshop where we teach parents how to keep their kids open and connected to the other side and stay in their psychic abilities so that they can maintain that connection. Yes. I want to, because
I like what you said about drawing pictures.
Yeah.
I don't want to gloss over that. The drawing pictures part, because creativity, the artistic expression of what flows through, there's such an authenticity and an honesty to when kids draw until we start to judge what they draw. And that reminds me of what Picasso had said. And Picasso had said, all of us, all children are born artists. Problem is keeping them that way.
Right.
And we have to allow, we have to encourage, we have to let them know that if you make a tree, one kid makes a tree and it looks like a tree, and the other kid makes a tree and it doesn't look like a tree, we don't say to this kid, yeah, that's a good drawing. It looks just like a tree. And now you've told that kid that it wasn't acceptable. And so they either start to give it up completely.
That's what I love about
they retreat.
The young teachers of today, the millennial teachers of today. They're so open compared to our generation. The teachers were so old school when they're thinking.
Yeah.
And so many of them were like strict about, well, that doesn't look like that. But now I see teachers being more open to receiving different interpretations. I wanted to take another question because you have been on a roll answering questions. So I'm going to take a question.
Okay. So no more express chats now. Do we have any left though?
No, we're finished with
the super chats.
With the super chats.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is for what was the name that you said started with an A? What was the name?
Alita?
Yeah, I think it was her.
Okay.
I remember that name because that movie was so cool called Alita. It was kind of almost looked like a
that was
right. That was a lot of people don't talk about that movie, but it was super cool.
It's great.
So the question was, wait, I just want to have you do a quick, what is it called when you ask a quick question?
Quick fire
question, just a psychic question.
Sure.
There's somebody here on the chat and I don't have the name.
Yeah.
I think it's Kathy or not. Is it Kathy or not? Who wants to know?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have to hear the question.
And this is just because I would like to do just this freebie shout out.
Let's do a few. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just this one.
Yeah.
In the spring, they're expecting to have flooding, and she would like to know if her house is going to get flooded out.
I need to know the name to make sure it's the name of the person.
Kathy or not?
You're sure?
Yeah, I mean,
sounded like you weren't
Erica,
sure. That's why. Because I tune in using the name of the person.
Yeah.
Because it directs me towards them.
While you're doing that,
I can take a couple of more questions. I
was going to take the question.
Okay.
Okay, so so the question is, why are you able to help others, but it's hard to help yourself? Good question. And I want to answer
I love that question.
It's a great question. So where do I begin? This is like going to be a whole show on that. So
well,
basically,
it's true.
Yeah, it's true. So basically, I don't know if it's that we were taught this. It could have been, right? That we were taught this to not take care of ourselves properly and to just look out for other people. It could be that. Could also be that we're very hard on ourselves because we have high expectations, high demands, or demands society place on us, or programming that we think that we're supposed to fit into certain categories. We're supposed to act a certain way. So we have these like trying to mold and fit and shove our personalities and our massive energies, our big energy fields into these small little control boxes and different labels and ideas of who we're supposed to be on the planet. And what happens is we have so much more compassion for other people because we're like, we see their gold, we see the beauty in them, we see their love, we see all their good qualities, we see what's possible for them. And we have that big perspective and we could really see past all the constraints and labels and everything because it's easier to see others, right? But as soon as we look at ourselves, we're just like, well, I should be further along and I should be better and I should be this and I should be that. And then you have all these rules and restrictions. So the best thing to do, if you guys want to get more in touch with yourself and you want to find out really who you are and you really, really want to like make friends with yourself, hold hands with yourself, make peace with yourself. First of all, stop making yourself wrong, just as a general rule. That's just like, you know, when you go clean out the closet and you purge and you just like finally make up your mind, you're just going to go empty it out into trash bags and get rid of it. It's that feeling of like, enough is enough. We're just done with this. You have to actually put your foot down and finally say, I'm going to stop making myself wrong, because you're so caught up and making yourself wrong. You never give yourself an opportunity to find out what else is in there. So you have to track back. When was the first time you started making yourself wrong? And when, let's say you found out you were making yourself wrong as a child, you can really track it back. You probably felt that way because you felt others were making you wrong. So then it becomes, you feel others were judging you, and then you got defensive, and then you start turning against yourself because you weren't good enough and there was something wrong with you. And so therefore you start turning on yourself. And so there's this bad habit. It's like an avalanche that grows as you get older. Plus you have society pressures. And you have all these connotations of how you're supposed to behave. So you add all this together. And by the time, let's say you're 30, 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, you're sitting here trying to make friends with yourself and you hate yourself. You're just like, this sucks. I don't like anything I'm doing. I don't like who I've become. I don't like how I dress. I don't like where I'm living. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't like what I'm eating. I hate everything. This is not even me. And that is the beginning of it's called getting a grip. And that's the beginning of you starting to go into your spiritual path, because that's where the awakening happens. When you awaken, light bulb goes off of, hey, why am I not doing those things? Why am I not dressing that way? Why am I not eating those things? Why am I not living in that city? Why am I not giving that to myself? So when that starts happening, you start going down this, what we call the spiritual path. This is your evolution. And this is what our show is primarily about. It's about that topic, what you just said. So it's about showing people how to kind of come back home to the true self. So you can learn how to speak from your higher self. You can learn how to talk to people from your truth, not lying, not covering up your truth, not pretending you're something else. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to start loving yourself more. Because the more authentic you are, the more you're being your true self, and the more you discover what that true self is. And by the way, even if you go back and try to look at who you really are, you may have lost connection with that person, and maybe that person doesn't even exist anymore. Totally fine. Do not worry about that. There's always new versions of you being reinvented. And that's what you want. You want fresh water, kind of like a river with fresh water going down the stream. You don't want stagnant energy. You do not want stagnant water anywhere, because that creates moss and it gets slimy. You don't want that. So what you want is to keep moving conversations along, keep moving your questions along with yourself, ask deeper questions, find out why you do certain things. Ask yourself, why do I have 50 pieces of clothes in my closet that make zero sense to me? I never touch them or wear them, and it's just taking up space. As an example, it's a very minor example. You could do this anywhere in your life. And this is called rebirth. You start reinventing yourself and rebirthing. And so when you ask this question, it's such an innocent, lovely, and wonderful question, because you're actually pointing to a really big picture. You're pointing to a picture of you wanting to get back to your roots. You wanted to find out who you were before you got mad at yourself, who you were before you got mad at people. And you asked it very calm and peacefully and articulated it with a lot of intelligence, which tells me you are definitely on the path to want to be more like evolved with yourself. You want to be yourself more. How would you put it?
I read the question completely differently.
Oh,
because people ask me that as a psychic, how do
is
you,
that
are you,
why you were doing this?
what do you mean?
Because he didn't agree.
No, agree. No, it's not about not agreeing.
Yes, it was because you didn't.
I read
agree
it.
with
I
me.
was listening to
It's
what you were
okay.
saying, which
We
was
could both
really
have-
cool, but
yeah.
I totally
We
understood
could
the
have
question
different
differently.
opinions. Okay, what is your?
I thought she was
take on it?
asking, well, it's just how I always receive things is I always think about it psychically first, is when she said, is it easier to help others than helping yourself?
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I have been asked, is it easier to read others psychically than read yourself? That's how I actually heard it. So then I was like, absolutely, it's easier for me to read others. I mean, it's like asking a massage therapist, is it easy to massage others or your own back? So I think that I have intuition. I guide my life intuitively. I get messages from my guides, but my guides, sometimes they give me very direct answers, or they'll be very much like, just keep flowing right now. And I accept that guidance. I don't sometimes need a very specific, detailed answer, but I think it's because you're supposed to help others other than helping yourself. I think it's that your whole path is about connecting dots, your own personal path, and then your path with others is to make life easier for them. But your own personal path is to connect those dots. It's your magical quest, is what I think. But I took it again psychically.
Would you like to take more questions?
Yeah, let's take a couple of
Okay,
a
Erica,
couple
you
of
have
questions.
some questions, right?
The random questions. Go ahead.
Yes.
You want to, but give me the names. Remember, because I'm just gonna take the names and see who I want to answer. Being guided to answer.
Okay, sure.
You forgot that part.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
This is actually possibly connected to the spirit shout out about the carousel. First.
Yes. Oh, we did have a spirit shout out. Good.
Yes.
What is that one?
So Alex has an old school like wind up nursery carousel that she used to have from when she was a kid.
Yes.
That was the only thing that really came through. Do you think that's it, or is
Yes, it must be that because it's the one that turns, right?
Yes, it does turn.
Okay,
and play
Alex.
music, yeah.
So your guides are coming through. I have a guide that works with me who's Merlin. Merlin works with me quite a bit and works with many. But this is a message about magic. And this is a message about when you give yourself permission, Alex, to go into your imagination. I'm just giving the messages where I'm hearing it from Merlin. So when you give yourself permission to really go into your imagination, that could be through magical movies you watch or wonderful stories you watch or looking at books with beautiful pictures of magical realms. That's where you are getting your healing, is when you go into those realms in your mind, in your consciousness, to let yourself go there. And the message right now is to kind of focus on those magical horses and the unicorns and the land of the fairies and the leprechauns and Merlin and the Knights of the Round Table, all of that wonderful lore. That's very important for you. That's where you're going to go. That's your healing spots. Your guides want you to know to, when you meditate, give yourself that. It's almost like, you go there in your mind, but you don't give it to yourself all the way. You're like, okay, that's enough. It's been a minute and I've got to get back to life or other concerns. So they're calling you into more magic right now, Alex. That's the message. All right. You had some other people who had questions. What are the names? And I'll know who to answer. Mm-hmm.
Brittany,
Mm-hmm.
Ed, or Yasmin.
Ed.
Okay. Ed would like to know any guides or angels sending a partner my way anytime soon.
I love that. I also like that, Ed, that we say, give it up to the spirit guides. Like, just send them my way. Send them my way. Ed's ready for it. I love that you're ready for it. What it feels like is that, and I'm going to tell you, though we differ in our opinions, I do believe that they're part of how a partner comes into your life. I don't believe they're the sole reason. It has to be, it's all co-created. And I think you know that, Ed. It's about the vibes you put out and understanding that the partner you receive is going to be the partner that is there for the frequency you are emanating. Whoops. Let's say that again. The partner that you receive is going to be the frequency that you're emanating. And some people will be like, no, because I'm really loyal and faithful and I want a partner like that. And all I keep getting are people who are not that. How are we on the same frequency? You're on the same frequency because that's the big challenge. The frequency is the challenge. The frequency is where all the energy is caught up in. So, that's the make it or break it for you. And so, of course, you're going to have someone come in who challenges those notions, because a true soulmate or twin flame are the ones who come in and not just enforce or reinforce or encourage you, but also to challenge your notion of people, styles, judgments. They will be in some ways opposite to you, but also very similar to you. I am getting that this is a person who is well seasoned and more mature in their being that is coming your way, Ed. If you want to know time zone, it's more time frame, maybe it's time zone, maybe it's they live in another time zone. I never say anything random. So if I said time zone, I would say that they don't live in your time zone. I would also say time frame. I'm going more into November. That's where I see it. Okay, next question.
Let's see. Just give me 1 minute. I'm just kind of checking in with the chat. 1 second.
I have Kundalini conversation I'd like to have with you.
Please.
So somebody's asking if they have sexual energy, is that, and they do feel it going up into their crown. Is that sexual energy, basically? Let me see if I read the question correctly. I have an embarrassing question. First of all, it's not embarrassing, because sexuality is just a human
part of human life.
Part of human life. Does Kundalini energy cause sexual energy? I wonder if I have Kundalini because of that. And it also goes into my throat, abdomen, and chest. Well, Kundalini does go from the root chakra all the way up to your crown chakra. And if you allow it to go fully down through your root chakra all the way to your crown chakra, you can experience a Kundalini kind of a sexual energy. There's gurus, and I think Osho is one of them, that they use the concept of sexual energy in Kundalini to move energy and move through your chakras. There's a lot of cultures that believe in sexual energy.
Well, they believe that's the sexual energy. So being at the time, like coiled up like a snake in the first or second chakras, which I call the fun chakras, as you guys know. So that in that moment in sexuality where there is that great release, it is about breathing up that energy through the chakras, through the crown. And that's why so many people find peace and release and that they can relax after sexual activity. They go because it was a physical release. It's not just a physical release. Your entire nervous system begins to calm down. But when you approach it from the perspective of the chakras, that system and the Kundalini, it is so much of your vital life force that you begin to allow to come through the other areas of your life, which is drawing it up through the other chakras, which are the heart, the throat, the more emotional chakras, right? And then what's at the top? Cosmic consciousness.
And the sacral chakra, somebody said, I thought it was sacral chakra. That's a part of the sexual energy chakra points, because it's the I am, and being connected to and grounded to the planet, plus, Mother Gaia, being in communion, and plus being connected to who you are on the planet, as like how you are seeing yourself, how you are being seen, accepting the great I am. It's one of the more difficult chakras to get through, but it does encompass the sexual chakras, because I don't think sexuality just lives only just in the root chakra. It's such a big, massive energy, and it does move through. But it, being a mother and giving birth so many times, like I could tell you, sexual energy really has a lot to do with understanding that chakra point. And so, yeah, the sacral is involved, but I'd say it's...
Well, root and sacral, right? So it's in the second.
Yeah.
Root is I'm just safe on the planet, I exist. And then second is where do I create? So that second chakra, and maybe we'll go into it further in a different conversation, but the second one represents not just sexuality, but creativity and connection through to mother also, right? The umbilical cord, the belly button, and all of that. So
have you heard of that meditation? I'm sure there's a name for it, but I know of a meditation that you can just You sit very quietly by yourself, and if you feel some sexual energy, you can draw it up and draw it up. Some people use it for creativity. They use it for like art, singing.
It's almost unlimited when you tap into it. You can use it for physical activity anywhere.
Do you know some people restrain and refrain from release because they want to encompass this energy
and breathe it through their system and recycle it? Okay, that's a practice, and it's also part of practice of Tantra or Tantric philosophy and science, which is a big thing to study. By the way, Tantra is not just about the sexual act. Tantra is a great deal more that has to do with communication, intimacy, and openness and the heart. So it's not just, Tantra is you're learning sexuality. No, it takes years. It's a lifetime of devoted practice. In India, at least. Now, unfortunately it's been reduced to kind of like courses here and things that people are titillated by. But if you go deeper, like with anything, you'll learn how to actually live a more peaceful life with this energy.
There's some people who actually feel that spirituality and sexuality are one in the same. The feeling they have towards the higher power has a sexual energy to it because it's like a self-love kind of experience.
Yeah.
So this goes very deep. Like people study this and spend time focused on this topic, and they make a whole life just understanding how sexual energy works.
Yes.
And I think it's a fascinating study. And I know a lot of people, I mean, back in the day when we were, hanging out with a lot of healers that would come by the house, they would go off and learn to do that and train others and like
talk
have
about
classes
it.
and stuff.
For sure, it was very big. Is there anybody out there I know this is the tail end of our broadcast tonight, but are one of you studying to be a doula? If that's you, let me know. Did I give a shout out before that somebody had?
No, but I have a confirmation from a shout out when you were talking to Monica.
Yeah.
Her uncle's birthday, or brother's birthday is tomorrow. That was connected to something.
Oh, I said there's the birthday coming up right now. Okay, thank you.
Birthday.
So that person was saying happy birthday.
And her mother Machiko had an adopted daughter named Darlene. There was a female energy
next to her who passed on.
She says she's not sure, but that could be.
That could be it. Okay.
Could very much be who it is. And let me see if anything. Oh, and you had gotten, I think, the name Stanley. She said my uncle's name is Stanley.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's
great,
related, but and you said if anyone's a doula.
Yes.
So not sure, but I'll see if that.
We'll give it a minute.
If that comes up through.
If that comes up, great. But we can just talk about we're wrapping up now. It's so great to be here with you guys, and as it's what is it? End of February. I like that now.
We're trying to slow time down.
No, but I feel like it is finally slowing down.
God.
It is slowing down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it feels like it's slow for you guys. I don't know. It just really depends. I guess it depends on a lot of factors, but it does feel like time is going really fast. Like last time we went to Japan was last cherry blossom season. It feels like it just happened and we're going again.
There was somebody Japanese watching tonight, right?
Well, the mother Machiko.
Oh, right.
That's
We're going to Japan. Are you watching from Japan? Let us know if you are. You can come and meet us in Tokyo and Kyoto and Nara that we're going to for the cherry blossoms. It's the Sakura Festival.
Well, you guys, we're feeling that 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
And we feel like we had a lot of fun with our friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our classroom time.
Yes.
I hope you guys got something out of it. And everybody goes up, their merry way happily and filled.
And we'll see you in 2
full of love.
weeks.